I am Dr. W.B. Gunare from Kamlanil Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Today we are going to discuss the chapter number 8. The name is the transition and inner transition element. Already we have discussed what is the position of transition element, that is D block element, and also their electronic configuration of first transition, second transition, third transition. Also we were discussed in the last lecture that what is the oxidation state, that is variable oxidation state of the first transition series element. And now in today's presentation we are going to discuss what are the physical properties of the first transition or the D block elements, that is atomic and ionic radii, ionization potential, and after that we are going to see the magnetic properties and the metallic character. So all these properties we are discussing in today's presentation. So today's topic is transition and inner transition element, chapter 8. And here already we have seen the what is meant by the transition element. As again I am repeating, the element which are present between S and P block element are known as the transition element. That means they are act as a transition between S and P block element, and their properties are also intermediate between those of S and P block element. And in today presentation we are going to discuss the parts are there: oxidation state, first transition series, already we have seen, but I am repeating again here what is physical properties of first transition series elements. After that, atomic and ionic radii, ionization enthalpy or potential, metallic character, and magnetic properties. So one by one we are discussing all these. So these are the as we know what is oxidation state. It is the tendency of an element to lose electrons or to gain electrons, and depending upon that, as we know, D block elements are the metals, and therefore they have strong tendency to lose one or more electrons. And here these elements show variable oxidation state shown here, that is scandium, depending upon the because of the availability of D orbital. Here scandium show +2 plus the oxidation state, titanium show +2 plus the +4. In short, we can say that these elements have a strong tendency to show variable oxidation state because D orbital is available. And depending upon the which electron loss from the S orbital or D orbital also, they are showing variable oxidation state. And here these are the oxidation state of the first transition series element from scandium to zinc. And some points are very important, that all these elements show common oxidation state, that is +2 is the common oxidation state, and minimum oxidation state is a +2 in all the case except chromium and the copper have minimum oxidation state +1. And maximum oxidation state is shown by manganese. Here it is the +7. And so some oxidation state are stable and some are unstable. So here this is the table shows oxidation state of first transition series element, and in this case this table shows the electronic configuration of various ion. Here is shown these are the element of first transition series, and these are the atomic number of these elements, and here is shown. So this transition element first transition series element can form, these are the configurations of metal, and this is the configuration of monopositive when it loses one electron, and this is the configuration of M2 plus ion of the transition element when they loses loss of 2 electron taking place. When there is a loss of 3 electrons, then they show this configuration. So as we know, in case of scandium configuration is 3d1 4s2, it is D1 system. In case of same scandium, but the metal having 1 plus charge, and in that case the 1 electron is lost from the 4s, and therefore the configuration is 3d1 4s1. In case of scandium first element, when there is loss of 2 electron, in that case the here 2 electron loss, and that 2 electron loss from this there is a loss of 2 electron from 4s, and therefore here is a 3d1, should be a 3d1, here should be a 3d1. And in case of there is a loss of 3 electron, then here is only argon because 18 electrons are there. As we know, scandium have atom number 21, so here this is the 21, and so this is the configuration of metal 3d1 4s2. There is a loss of 1 electron, so 3d1 4s1. There is a loss of 2 electron there, so here should be a 3d1 only, and 4s0, 3d1 4s0, but here is, this is a mistake, and 3d1 4s0. So here argon means 18, all the 3 electrons, this 2 from 4s, 1 from 3d, 3 electron, loss of 3 electrons, so argon is the configuration. In this way all other elements show the configuration. And loss of, so these elements have tendency to lose 1 electron, 2 electron, 3 electron, forming monopositive, dipositive, tripositive metal ions. So first transition series element forming, and because of this d orbital is available, they are showing variable oxidation state. Now after this we are going to discuss what are the physical properties of first transition series element. So there are 3 important series are there, but the important series here out of 3, the first transition series is important, and these are some characteristic properties of these physical or physical parameters or properties of the first transition series element. As we know, majority of all these element of the first transitions all are metals, and transition element have partly filled d orbital, therefore they show interesting properties, and all the transition elements are metals, and they show the properties of the characteristic properties of the metals, and properties are they are hard, they show lustrous nature, malleable and ductile, and also form the alloy with the other metals. They also show variable oxidation state, and they also form color complexes with different anion and neutral molecules. These elements also have strong tendency to form paramagnetic, show the paramagnetic behavior, and transition metals and their compound also have the catalytic properties. Zinc, cadmium, mercury possess fully filled d orbitals and therefore do not exhibit these properties. So because zinc, cadmium, mercury have the completely filled orbitals, and they have high melting and boiling point. So these are the main characteristics properties of the first transition series element, and important properties are they are malleable and ductile, they are hard in nature, they have high melting and boiling point, they show paramagnetic nature because of the presence of one or more unpaired electron in the d orbital or s orbital. And after that, important property are they have strong tendency to form complexes, they show variable oxidation state, and also magnetic properties. And important is they form the metal ions of transition element, and their compound or complexes are colored. So they show color because of the presence of one or more unpaired electrons. So these are the properties. And after this, here we are going to see the variation of the different properties are there. Atomic and ionic radii is the first one. So in case of atomic and ionic radii, as we know what is atomic radius and what is ionic radius, and in this case we can say that it can be defined as atomic radius can be defined as the distance between the center of nucleus to the outermost shell of an electron in the atom. So this distance is known as atomic radii, and in general we know that the atomic size, atomic radii or ionic radii depend upon the size of atom or ion, and as we go from left to right in the period, the size of atom decreases because force of attraction increases and number of shells are same. But now here the size of atom from left to right in the period decreases and force of attraction increases, and because with the increase of atomic number, and as we know as we go from top to bottom in the group, the atomic or ionic radii or atomic size increases because number of shells increases, and because of shell increases and also force of attraction decreases, and because of that with the increase of atomic number in the period it is decreases, size decreases, and in the group it is increased. But now here this is the first transition series, fourth period, and in case of fourth period, first transition series elements are there, and therefore as we go from left to right, the atomic and ionic radii both here decreases because it depends upon the size. And again we can say that atomic and ionic radii of transition element are smaller as compared to the s block element. And in case of element of the particular transition series, atomic number increases, and then the atomic radii of first decreases till the middle. So in case of first transition series, atomic radii of the element first decreases till the middle, become almost constant, and then increases toward the end of the period. This is the trend observed in the first transition series. For example, we can say that the atomic radii of first transition series decreases from scandium to chromium and remain almost constant till copper, and then increases toward the end. So it is also shown in the table. So this table shows the atomic properties of the first transition series element, and here The ionic radius also follow the similar trend like atomic radii, and in this case this is the metal shown. These are the elements and these are the atomic number from 21 to 30, and density is also shown here, and here atomic radius and ionic radius. This is the atomic radius, and here ionic radius 2 plus ion, 3 plus ion shows this value, and ionization enthalpy value is also shown here. And this is the graph is shown also here, trend of atomic radii in d block element. See here the three elements, three series are there, first, second, third transition, and as from first transition is from scandium. So green line, this is the first transition, the value is lower as compared to second and third, and blue color shows the second, and this red color shows the third transition series elements. So now it is why the atomic radii decreases and then it become constant, and at the end it is increases. So we can give the reason that the decrease in the size in the beginning is due to the increase in nuclear charge. However, the increased nuclear charge is partly cancelled by the increased skinning effect of electron in the d orbital of penultimate shell. When the increased nuclear charge and increased skinning effect balance each other, atomic radii become almost constant. This is the reason. And increase in atomic radii toward the end may be due to the electron-electron repulsion. So this is the reason. And the pairing of electron in d orbital occurs after d5 configuration, that is after Magnitz. The repulsive interaction between the paired electron in d orbital become very dominant toward the end of the period, cause of expansion of electron cloud and resulting in increased atomic size. And atomic and ionic radii also follow the similar here, like atomic radii, ionic radii also show the similar trend. So here these are the values shown here, and in case of the second and third transition series belonging to the particular group have almost equal atomic radii. This is because lanthanide contraction. For example, as we know that atomic radii of zirconium and the hafnium are almost constant, similar. That is, the values are 160 picometer and 159 picometer. Therefore, these two elements are also known as a chemical twin. So this is about the atomic radii and ionic radii. Ionic radii also have the similar trend like the atomic radii. So these are the shows here. These are the values of metals, and these are the ions. And here this graph is also shows how the value changes. And so here we can say that here see the value of first transition series. First decreases up to the middle, up to chromium, and then almost constant, and then toward the end it is increases. So this is the trend observed in case of first transition series element, and this trend in case of ionic radius can be studied with the help of the element having same oxidation state and considering the various oxidation state of the same element. So these are the so in general we can say that atomic and ionic radii both decreases from left to right or from first transition, in case of first transition from scandium to zinc. But again now in case of generally it decreases, but now it depends upon the size and force of attraction. And now in this case that graph shows clearly how it is. Initially it decreases up to the middle, and it almost constant up to the copper, and after copper it is increases. So reason also we have seen how it is taking place. So this is the first property, that is atomic and ionic radii. Second property is ionization enthalpy or ionization potential. As we know, in case what is the definition of ionization potential? It is the amount of energy required to remove electron from the outermost shell. So energy required to remove one electron is known as first ionization potential. Energy required to remove two electron is known as second ionization potential. So in this way enthalpies are there, ionization enthalpy is there, and here some of the first ionization series elements have the value, ionization energy value are shown here. So here scandium, titanium, these are the 10 elements, and this table shows this is the IE, ionization energy of one means first ionization potential, second, and this is the third ionization potential, ionization enthalpy value or ionization potential value, which is expressed in a kilojoule per mole. And here this is the values are shown here. and see the values, it is increases. So generally as ionization potential value or ionization enthalpy value as we go from left to right in the period increases. Why it is increases? Because of the with the increase of atomic number, the size, as we know, size of the atom are it decreases. Why the size of atom decreases? Because of the force of attraction increases, and with the increase of force of attraction from left to right, here it is difficult to remove electron, and therefore if you want to remove electron, then it is easy, but it is possible, but it is possible by the but amount of energy required is more. So therefore, as the force of attraction increases, and here the ionization enthalpy of the first ionization series also increases. So here this is the generally this is the first ionization energy is increases, see here, and in case of second ionization potential, some of the exceptions are also there, and here this graph shows the how the ionization enthalpy of the d block element are there. This is the scandium, titanium, so here vanadium. This is the values of this first ionization, and this is the second, and this is third is shown. So here it is ionization energy values are shown here lower as compared to the second and third ionization series, and we can say that in case of ionization enthalpy or ionization potential, as we know that ionization energy, that is IE1 values of the transition element are higher as compared to the S block element, but lower than the P block element. In particular transition series, ionization energy increases gradually as we move from left to right. However, the relative difference of ionization energy value of any two consecutive d block elements of particular period is much smaller than those of S and P block element. Therefore, the increase in ionization energy is due to the increase in nuclear charge. And as the transition element involve the gradual filling of n-1 d orbital, the effect of increase in nuclear charge is partly cancelled by the increase in skinning effect, and therefore the increase in ionization energy along the period of d block element is very small. The ionization energy of 3d, 4d, 5d transition series are shown in this in the figure graphically, and it is noted that 5d transition element possess higher ionization energy as compared to 3d and 4d transitions element. This is shown in graphically in the figure. This is due to the greater effective nuclear charge in these elements because of the ineffective shielding of the nucleus by 4f electrons, and so these values are also shown in the table, and magnitude of ionization energy give an idea about the energy required to raise the metal to particular oxidation state, and from the knowledge of ionization energy of the metal, it is possible to know the relative stabilities of the various oxidation state. And here this table clearly shows the value of ionization energy of the first ionization energy, second and third, and few exceptions are there. Again, now here question can be asked, what is now chromium here is having higher value, second ionization potential value of chromium is higher as compared to the next one. This should be a less because it is increases, but it is more than this one. So this value is why it is greater. In case of this also copper, so this chromium and this copper, as we know, chromium have the configuration argon 3d1 4s 3d what is the 4s1 3d5 or 3d5 4s1. In case of copper 3d10 4s1. So if you want to remove 2 electrons from the chromium, then 1 electron is removed from the 4s1 and 1 electron from the 3d5, and d5 is half filled. In case of copper 3d10 4s1, so 1 electron from 4s can be removed easily, but second electron is very difficult, and it is possible to remove the second electron, but energy required is more, and that is why because d10 is a stable, and so a second ionization potential value in case of chromium and copper are more as compared to the next element. So here this is the reason that how, as we know, half filled orbitals are here, completely filled. Half filled and completely filled orbitals are more stable, and therefore to remove electron from such orbital are required higher energy, and therefore the ionization potential value, ionization energy of the chromium and this copper is higher as compared to other element. In case of third ionization potential value also, here the manganese have higher value because it is also having half filled D5 orbital, and in case of zinc also this is having greater value, and so this the reason is that again half filled and completely filled orbitals are there. To remove electron from half filled and completely filled orbitals very difficult, but it is possible, but energy required is more. And in this case, see the third ionization potential here. This is first ionization, second and third. So third ionization element have higher energy as compared to second and 3D and 4D. So 5D have higher energy. So this is the trend shown here for this ionization potential. So we can say that in general, as we go from left to right, as we go from scandium to zinc, ionization enthalpy or ionization potential value increases, because why in the period it is increases because the force of attraction between valence electron and the positive nucleus, this between these two increases, and because of increase of force of attraction there is a decrease of size and very difficult to remove electron, and therefore ionization energy or enthalpy or ionization enthalpy increases from in the series from scandium to zinc. So, and this table and graph is also shown what is the comparison between the first and second and third ionization series. And now here is some description are being given here, that is the first ionization energy of D block element are higher as compared to the S block and P block but less than the P block element, so it is intermediate. So ionization energy increases with, as we go in the series and not regularly, and we have seen the graph, it is not a regular decrease. So decrease increase is there shown here. So in case of first ionization, first slightly decreases, slight increase, then continuous increase, here it is maximum, again decrease and then increases. So it is not continuous or regular increase of the value, but it is generally increases. And here this is the description shown for this ionization. Third property is the metallic character. As we know, all the elements here are the metals and they show metallic properties. All the all these elements are metals and show metallic character. And all the transition element are as we know, first ionization, second ionization, third ionization are metal. They have simple hexagonal closed pack, a cubic closed pack, or body centered cubic lattices, which are characteristics of other metal. All these elements have high density, hardness, high melting and boiling point, high tensile strength, ductility, malleability, and high thermal and electrical conductivities and the luster. And this metallic character is due to low ionization energy and number of vacant orbital in their atoms. So this is due to the here it is because of the low ionization energy of these elements as compared to other. All these metals have high density. The densities vary or changes are varying inversely with the atomic radii. As we move from left to right in the period, the densities increases because atomic radii decreases. The densities increase upon descending a group. The density of the transition metals are also shown in the graph here. These are the values. Density of transition metals are first and second transition. Here this is the density on this, and here is the here shown the density. These are the element. So first series shown this density. This is second series, third transition series. So higher density is there in case of third and lower than second, but first transition have lower, very low value of densities as compared to second and third transition series. And here also show the melting point of the transition metals. So in this case, melting point of these first transition series also not continuous decrease, but show the lower as compared to second and third transition series. So these two graphs shows clearly, and in this case the densities of the transition metal are shown in the graph, and transition metal have very high melting and boiling point, and the melting and boiling point of 3 transition series are also shown in the graph, second graph, and it is clear from the figure that melting point of these metals rise up to the maximum value and then decreases with increase in atomic number. And manganese and technetium metals have abnormally low melting point. The high melting here is shown, melting point of the manganese here. This is the low value, and here technetium. This see here the curves here. See very low melting point of manganese and technetium. So these two elements have abnormally low melting point. The high melting point of the transition metal suggests that atoms in these elements are held together by strong metallic bond. This is also evident from the fact that these metals have high enthalpies of atomization. The metallic bond is formed due to the interaction of electron in the outermost orbital. The strength of bonding is roughly related to the number of unpaired electrons. In general, greater the number of valence electrons, stronger is the metallic bonding, and therefore melting point are high. Therefore, we can say that as we move along the particular series, the metallic strength increases up to the middle with increasing availability of the unpaired electron up to d5 configuration, and then decreases with the decreasing availability of the unpaired d electrons, and therefore we can say that the melting point decreases after the middle because increase of the pairing of electrons. Since the alkali and alkaline earth metals have only 1 and 2 outer electron available, their melting points are relatively low in comparison to the transition metals. So alkali or alkaline earth metal means S block element which have 1 or 2 electron available, and therefore their melting points are lower as compared to the transition metal. So this depends upon metallic character. So we can say that most of all these elements of the transitions are metals, and they show all the properties of metal, that is that properties of metals are different properties of metals are there, and they show properties of metals, and in this case all these elements show the properties, that is the what is the shape. Lattices, also different lattices also show high density, hardness, high melting and boiling point, high tensile strength, and also ductility, malleability, thermal and electrical conductivities, and luster. All these are the properties because all these are metals and they show metallic character. So we have seen detail about the density also, and melting point and boiling point. And now next property is the magnetic properties, which is very important. As we know that when any material or substance placed in the magnetic field, they show different behavior. When the substance placed in the magnetic field, they show different behavior. When that is like it behave like a paramagnetic substance, behave like a diamagnetic substances, and some of the materials are the ferromagnetic in nature. So in case of the magnetic properties, some substances are show paramagnetic substances behavior, and in case of some are diamagnetic, it depends upon the number of electron present in the orbitals. So magnetic properties of the compound are measure of number of unpaired electron in the materials. There are two types of substances. One is a paramagnetic and second is a diamagnetic. So generally two types of materials are there, paramagnetic and diamagnetic. In addition to that, there are also some other ferromagnetic. Some materials are also there which are anti-ferromagnetic, that is known as ferrimagnetic. But here we are going to see what is paramagnetic substance and diamagnetic substance. So in case of paramagnetic substances, the substances which are attracted by the magnetic field are called paramagnetic substances. So there is attraction. When the substance is placed in the magnetic field, then that magnetic field attract the substance, that substance attract the magnetic line of force, and therefore there are two important terms are there. One is a magnetic permeability and second is a magnetic susceptibility. So both are the ratios of the, and in case of paramagnetic substances, the magnetic line of force passing through the substance because of the attraction, and therefore maximum magnetic line of force passing through the substance instead of passing through the vacuum, and such substances are known as paramagnetic substances. So substances which contain species and with an unpaired electron in the orbital. And so paramagnetism is due to the presence of one or more unpaired electron. So substances which have unpaired electron are paramagnetic in nature, and they are strongly attracted toward the magnetic field. And so here this is the first, that is paramagnetic substances, and it is due to the presence of unpaired electron. As we know, in case of first transition series, most of the elements have number of unpaired electron, and therefore majority of the elements of the first transition series are paramagnetic in nature. And second property is the diamagnetic substances, and the substances which are repelled by magnetic field are known as diamagnetic substances. What is now, in case of when the substance is placed in the magnetic field, then magnetic line of force passing through the vacuum instead of passing through the substance, because there is a repulsion, and because of this, this is due to the all electrons are paired in the substances. All electrons, when all electrons are paired, no unpaired electron, in that case the substance behave like that is there is a repulsion, and the substances are known as diamagnetic substances. So two types of substances are there. When unpaired electrons are present, it is paramagnetic. When no unpaired electron, all electrons are paired, then it is known as diamagnetic substances. And now most of the compound of transition element are paramagnetic in nature and are attracted by the magnetic field. Since the transition element involve filling of d subshell, most of their compounds have unpaired electron in the d orbital, therefore give rise to a paramagnetic character. Magnetic character is expressed in terms of magnetic moment. The larger number of unpaired electron in a substance, greater is the paramagnetic character, and large is the magnetic moment. And the magnetic moment is expressed in Bohr magneton. So number of unpaired electrons are more, then they are showing the greater paramagnetic character, and show large is the magnetic moment. So magnetic moment is expressed in the unit of magnetic moment is the Bohr magneton, and in short it is written as BM. And also we are going to see that, but what is now, in addition to the paramagnetic and diamagnetic substances, there are also some substances like iron metal or iron oxide which are highly magnetic, and therefore these substances are called ferromagnetic substances. We can say that these substances are strongly attracted, or it is a special of the extreme case of paramagnetism, because the magnetic moment is 1,000 times greater than the paramagnetic substances. So therefore this is another substance that is the type of behavior that is known as ferromagnetic substances. So remember that there are paramagnetic substances, diamagnetic and ferromagnetic substances. Iron is the well-known example of the ferromagnetic substances. And when the magnet and the iron is placed at a larger distance, even there also magnet attract iron is attracted toward the magnet because of the larger force of attraction, and such substances are called ferromagnetic substances. So these three types are there, and after this, now see the table is shown here, magnetic properties of some first transition series element. Here it is shown Bohr magneton, and these are the elements, and all elements are shown 3 positive, scandium 3 plus, titanium 3 plus, vanadium 3 plus. After electronic configuration of these ions are shown here, 3d0, 3d1, 3d2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As we know, scandium 3 plus, scandium configuration is 3d1, 4s2. So 4s2 electron, 3d1 electron. All the 3 electron lost, and therefore 3 plus charge is here, and 3d0. So d orbital have 0 electron. In this case, atomic number is 24. So 3d2, 4s2. All 3 electron lost, and 1 electron is left in the d orbital. So 3d1. So number of electrons are here. In this case 0, 1, in this case 2, 3, 4. Up to manganese it is up to 5, it is number of unpaired increases, but after this the pairing of electrons start taking place, and therefore number of unpaired electron decreases. So here start from 0 to 5 and then decreases up to 0. So in case of Zinc 2 plus, they have 0 unpaired electron. Here this is the calculated magnetic moment value shown here, and this is the experimental value is shown, and these values are very close to each other. And again, one important point we have to remember that here number of unpaired electrons are given here, magnetic moment value is there. There is one formula of spin only formula. By using that formula, magnetic moment of the element can be calculated. If unpaired electrons are given, this value can be calculated, or if this value is given, unpaired electron can be calculated by using spin only formula. And what is the formula we are going to see also. And in this case, as we know, one important thing is that unpaired electron is 1, the value of magnetic moment is 1 point something. So 1 is there, must. What is 1? Unpaired electron is 1, so 1 point something is there. Something may be less or more, whatever, but 1 is there. If unpaired electrons are 2.84, so 2 is there, must. 3, then 3 is there. 5 is there, and point something value is there. So we can roughly calculate. If the magnetic moment is given 4.90 means unpaired electrons are 4. But by also equation we can calculate. So in this way we can calculate the number of unpaired electrons, or we can, if the one value is given, other can be calculated. So in this way, these are the table shows relation between what is how many number of electrons are there and magnetic moment value. And in this case here now, one example is given, and that is in case of magnetic moment, values are shown. And remember that larger the number of unpaired electron in the substance, greater is the paramagnetic character, and therefore magnetic moment is larger. So in this case, some values are shown, and here each important spin only formula is there to calculate, as we have seen in the table. This is the formula which can be used for calculation. Mu is the this is the magnetic moment in Bohr magneton. Bm is the Bohr magneton. This is the mu spin, should be a mu, yes, mu spin magnetic moment. N is the number of unpaired electron present in the element. So this is the formula to calculate the magnetic moment. And after that also here one example is given how it can be calculated. Before that, see the values of magnetic properties. In case of the 3D block element, orbital motion is quenched, that is prevented. As a result of that, one can take into account only the spin motion, neglecting the orbital motion, and in this case spin only magnetic moment is given by. So here this is the mu spin, and this is the formula, only spin, because orbital motion is prevented, and because of that only we take the spin quantum number. So this is the formula for this case. So mu s equals to 4s into s plus 1 bm, where mu s is the spin only magnetic moment, s is the resultant spin quantum number, bm is the Bohr magneton. But as unpaired electrons has spin quantum number 1 by 2, we know that spin quantum number value s is a 1 by 2. And therefore for n electron, s is equals to, s is the spin quantum number, n by 2. For n number of electron, n by 2. So put this s value in this equation. This is equation 1, n by 2. After substituting, this is the formula, 4 into n by 2 in the bracket, n by 2 plus 1 Bohr magneton. After calculating by taking common, and what is now, we obtain mu s equals to under root n into n plus 2 bm. This is the equation we obtained, and this equation number 2 is used. Here only two terms, magnetic moment and the number of unpaired electrons. So one value is given, unpaired electrons are given, we can calculate the spin. Magnetic moment value is given, we can calculate the number of unpaired electrons. So by using this concept, now here this is the problem is given already in the book. Calculate the spin only magnetic moment of the divalent cation of the transition metal with atomic number 25. So atomic number 25 is the manganese, and manganese have 25 is the manganese. For element with atomic number 25, electron configuration for this atomic number 25 can be written as argon 3d5 4s2. So here is now divalent now. So what is the manganese, and atomic number is 25. In that case configuration is argon 3d5 4s2. So it is now for the divalent. So 2 electron loss from the 4s. So d5 only. Configuration is now d5 4s 0. So d5, this d5 have 1 2 3 4 5, and 4s have 0 electron, and because 2 electron loss, so there are 5 unpaired electron. So from this configuration we know there are 5 unpaired electron. So n equals to 5. number of unpaired electrons are 5. Put the value here in the equation, mu equal to 5 into 5 plus 2. So after calculating, this is 7 into 5 and square root of that we get the value 5.92. So see here, unpaired electrons are 5. As we know also the relation is there, unpaired electrons are 5, so value should have to come 5 point something. So 5 is there. So magnetic moment value is 5.92 Bohr magneton. So this is the spin only formula to know and to calculate the values. And here 3 block element. This is we have seen already, and now here one numerical problem is given. Calculate the magnetic moment of Mn2 plus ion. Similar that we have seen the example. Mn2 plus is a d5 system. Means only 5 electrons are there in a d orbital. Hence all the 5 electrons are unpaired, and as manganese belong to 3d series, orbital motion is quenched, and hence spin only formula, equation 1 that we have seen, should be used for this magnetic moment. So 5 unpaired electrons are there. We can calculate the value by using this equation, equation number 1 and equation number 2. By using equation 1, so value of summation of spin magnetic moment. So here spin quantum number 5 electrons are there. For each electron 1 by 2 value, spin quantum number. So 1 by 2, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So it is coming 5 by 2. Take the common 2, and what is 5 by 2 value is there of this yes, and put the value of here 5 by 2 here. So this is the equation. And then after putting the value 5 by 2 in here, 5 by 2 and square root of that, we obtain this value, and 5.91 is the answer. 5.91 is the magnetic moment. By using this equation, also we can calculate by using this equation, mu is equals to n into n plus 2, because number of unpaired electrons are 5. Put the value here 5, and after that also we get same value here 5.91 Bohr magneton. So by using both the equation, it is possible to calculate the value of magnetic moment. One more example is given here, that is calculate the magnetic moment of cobalt 2 plus ion. And cobalt, we know atomic number is 27, and the configuration of cobalt metal is a 3d7 4s2. And now here 2 plus is again there, 4s electron having 4s orbital have 2 electron which is lost, and d7 is the configuration. So cobalt 2 plus is d7, means d orbital have 7 electrons. And as cobalt belong to 3d series, orbital motion is quenched, and hence spin only formula, equation 1 or 2 can be used. And here d7 means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 electron get paired in this way. And here the same formula, S equals to 1 by, here is a 1 by 2, here plus 1 by 2, and then minus 1 by 2, because spin are opposite. Here again plus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2, and here plus 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So this cancelled, here this spin only 3 are there, 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So 3 by 2 is the answer. After putting this value 3 by 2 here, we obtain this value 15 square root of 15, and the answer is 3.87. In this case unpaired electrons are 3, 1 2 3, and therefore answer is coming also magnetic moment 3 point something. So 3 must be there, 3.87 Bohr magneton. It can also be calculated by using the spin only formula. So by using this also, value is coming 3.87 Bohr magneton. So in this way, one value is given, other can be calculated by using the spin only formula. And so this is the magnetic property shown by first transition series element. So today we have discussed the important property, that is the variation of atomic and ionic radii of the first transition series, and also transition element of the second and third transition series. After that, ionization enthalpies of first transition, second transition, third transition, and how they show variation as we go from left to right, it is increases. And third property, that is metallic properties, and metallic character shown by all these transition element, because all are the metals and they show all the characteristics of metals. And next, after that, magnetic properties we have discussed, and in this magnetic properties we have seen what is paramagnetic materials, diamagnetic materials, and also some materials are ferromagnetic in nature. And these also there is a spin only formula. By using that, number of unpaired electron or magnetic moment can be calculated by using the spin only formula. So these are the properties today that we have seen, and in the next time we will discuss about the color of transition metal ions, and complex formation tendency, catalytic properties, and then the important compound of this transition element.